Hey, so welcome to today's video. So today we're going over the tech news. As always, every week I try to go over the tech news. Sorry for not doing it for a few weeks. I was having a bit of a break there, kind of just thinking about what I could do next. And yeah, I'm back, so why don't we just discuss the tech news like always? So Apple has had an event where they released the iPhone 13 series. Some major highlights with this phone are up to 1 terabyte of storage on the Pro model. So, of course, we have never seen such a high amount of storage on an iPhone before. It's very unprecedented to have that high level of storage on an iPhone, because before the max was 512 gigabytes, I believe. But that's only on the Pro model. Meaning, if you have the normal model or the mini model, then you will not get that feature. And that's the same with the ProMotion 120Hz display. ProMotion means that basically it dynamically selects refresh rate you need during a certain time. So basically, if you were on one static image, it would only have a 1 Hz refresh rate, but as soon as you start scrolling, it will turn it back up to 120 Hz. And this means that it takes up less battery power, which I think is good. So yeah. So with all of the models that were released, they have a 20% smaller notch. So yeah, and the iPhone 13 series, so the standard iPhone 13 has a 1000 nits display, and the Max model has a 1200 nits display. Peak brightness, so not all the time, but when you have it at the peak brightness, that's how bright it will get. So those are pretty high numbers for peak brightness. The camera now supports ProRes video on the Pro models, so that's a Pro feature that you only get on the Pro phones from Apple now. But it's cool to see ProRes come to the iPhone for the more video kind of recording people. This will be great. So yeah. And the iPhone 13 series, I will be reading out the prices for the iPhone 13 series. So the iPhone 13 mini starts at $699 in the US, and in the UK it is actually $679, and the iPhone 13 standard is $799 in the America for the 128 gigabyte model. This is of course the base model. So yeah. And in the UK that is £779 in the UK, obviously. Yeah. So I've noticed how now the iPhone 13 base model is actually 128 gigabytes instead of 64 gigabytes, which it was previously. It's interesting to see some of these changes to Apple's lineup. I'll also quickly talk about some of the other things launched during this event. Apple released the Apple Watch Series 7, which has a bigger display at 1.9 inches. And of course, they have some new watch faces to take advantage of that. And we don't have any pricing figures yet, which really is a bit strange from Apple. They usually give pricing figures on release. But, this time I guess they have decided to keep them back for whatever reason. Maybe they don't know yet. So yeah, or maybe they just want to create suspense. But the iPad mini was also released, which we have been expecting for a while. If you've been following the leaks, you would have expected it. And yeah, and this is the first update to the mini series of iPads in many years. it appears that Apple are going back to the mini form factor, because many people appear to say that they want more smaller devices and don't really like the giant phones these days. And I can respect that. It makes total sense, really. So yeah, but of course the iPhone 12 mini didn't sell that well, I don't believe. So who knows what's going to go on with the iPad mini these days, because maybe people don't want it, maybe people do want it. Who really knows? But yeah, but without going on too much of a tangent there, why don't we talk about some of the differences? So it has less bezel than the old model, which is a very old model these days, of the iPad mini. And it has the latest A15 chip that was released with the new iPhones. So yeah, so you'll be right up to date with that. And it is 8.3 inches, so a bit bigger. Of course, you can get smaller tablets from the Android space. Obviously, you can get like 7-inch tablets and all that. But of course, Apple are playing it a bit bigger with the 8.3-inch display. So this iPad mini starts at $479 in the UK and $499 in the US. So Square has officially joined the Open Invention Network, the OIN. The OIN is, for what I know, a group which is meant to defend Linux and open source in general. And this basically means in the case of open source and Linux projects, they can use Square's patents as long as the software being made is open source, I believe, and does not hurt Linux. I believe that's the main factor, that it does not hurt Linux. So yeah, so this is a win. And Xiaomi also joined last month, which is pretty cool. So we're seeing more people joining the Open Invention Network and potentially defending Linux, which is always good to hear. So yeah. So the Chinese OnePlus 9 and 9 Pro are getting ColorOS 12, which is based on Android 12, obviously. And yes, ColorOS, Oppo's custom version of Android, is now on the Chinese OnePlus phones. But we're not exactly sure what's going to happen with other regions. I'm very confused about that. But of course, we have been seeing Oppo and OnePlus merge. Of course, they were always sister brands, but now they are merging fully together. So that's cool to see, I guess. But it does raise some worries about how long Oxygen OS has left. So Hydrogen OS is gone, the Chinese version. So I think the days of Oxygen OS are numbered globally because of how... it would be easier for BBK Electronics just to make one custom kind of version of Android for all of their phones. But I am unsure how this would affect how you can unlock your bootloader, because the thing is, Oppo phones, you can't unlock your bootloader, but with OnePlus phones you can. So I'm not sure if they will still... if this is a change of direction and maybe OnePlus in the future might be less geeky, I don't really know. But it's just interesting to see these changes happen when it comes to OnePlus. So Tesco is adding renewable packaging to select products and stores. So the stores this will be available in are only a few stores. I'll link in the description a full list of the stores. In fact, I'm linking all of the sources for this show in the description. So there's one in Milton Keynes, one in Leicestershire, and in a few other locations. They're using the provider called Loop to allow you to go and buy something and use reusable packaging use it and then return the packaging to the Tesco store you bought it from, which is way more eco-friendly than old disposable packaging where you just throw it in like landfill pretty much, I believe, and be done with it. No, this is probably a better way of dealing with of reusing stuff is much better for the environment. So I think this is a good win. Microsoft is now allowing you to only use Microsoft Authenticator or biometric authentication to log in. So now, because passwords are a pain, and even Microsoft acknowledges that, you will be able to get rid of them for good if you want to. But biometric authentication is bad because who knows what happens if somebody somehow finds a way to get the hash of your fingerprints and somehow get that hash and be able to log into all of your accounts. And of course you can't change your fingerprints, so that is a downside. But at least this is an improvement on having to have a password. And when it comes to Microsoft Authenticator, I think that's a bit better than biometric security. But of course your phone could still get hacked and your accounts could still get compromised, but there is a pin to use it. Of course you have to put in your phone pin, so yeah. But I think this is a great move minus the biometric security. So Apple TV might have less subscribers than you think. Spoiler alert, it could be as little as 20 million. So yeah, just shows how little people are using Apple TV Plus and how Apple has failed with this offering. I mean, Netflix and Disney Plus are way better when it comes to content selection in many ways, although it does depend on what content you want to view. And I'm sure there are some good and popular TV programs and movies on Apple TV Plus. I know that Ted Lasso is a popular one, so yeah. And also there is some dispute about whether this is true and whether Apple are understating their figures to try and pay movie people less and TV people less. So I don't know anything about the inner workings there, so I will just say that these there might be some suspicion when it comes to that, but who really knows at the moment. So maybe keep following the story and let's see what happens with it. Although I feel like this might be a bit of a finished article already. So Apple has patched a pretty scary zero-day exploit used by Pegasus malware and on iOS and macOS. So of course Pegasus is a big kind of, I believe, it's a Trojan that was installed on many different journalists, activists, and just people who were kind of dissenting against the government on their phone. It was deployed and it, of course, spied on people and illegally spied on people. So, yeah. And so this exploit allowed hackers to send a message over iMessage, which would infect a phone with Pegasus with zero need to do anything except from send a message, and bypassed iOS 14's blast door defenses against this kind of stuff. So it's good to see this patched. So thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that subscribe button. Smash it, guys. Smash it real hard if you want to. Also, smash the like button and smash the your house up. Only joking, don't do that. But of course you can follow me on Odysee and smash the like button on Odysee. Of course, Odysee and LBRY are great platforms. Of course, Odysee is a front end for LBRY, and LBRY is a great decentralized platform where you can share your content without being censored, and you can have content freedom. So thank you for watching, and peace out.